Hello everyone, welcome back to Journey with Jenny. Today we are diving into a book that has fundamentally changed the world's most successful people think about decision making. And this is our fifth book of our Reading 100 Book in 1 Year challenge. I know I'm a bit behind the schedule due to the Chinese New Year holiday. Okay, let's back to the topic. So today's book's name is Principles, Life and Work by Ray Dalio. Who doesn't know about Ray Dalio? He is not just another Wall Street guy. He built Bridgewater Associates from nothing into the world's largest hedge fund, managing over $150 billion. But here is what's fascinating. He did it not by being the smartest guy in the room, but by creating a system of thinking that anyone can use. Dalio published this book in 2017, but he didn't write it to tell you what to think. He wrote it to teach you how to think. And that, my friends, is the difference between a good book and a transformative one. Let me start with Dalio's most famous formula. Pain plus reflection equals progress. Dalio learned this the hard way. In 1982, he made a catastrophic bet. He predicted a depression, went all in, and lost everything. He had to fire every single employee. He was so broke, he had to borrow $4,000 from his father just to survive. Most people would have quit, but Dalio did something different. He asked himself, what don't I know? He realized his failure wasn't bad luck. It was overconfidence. He had been too sure he was right. This is the first principle I want you to write down. Radical open-mindedness. Dalio says the two biggest barriers to good decision-making are your ego and your blind spots. Your ego wants to be right, your blind spots prevent you from seeing what you are missing. And the solution? Seek out the smartest person who disagrees with you, not to argue, to understand. At Bridgewater, Dalio created something called radical transparency. Every meeting is recorded. Everyone can criticize everyone, including the boss. Brutal honesty. He believes it's the only way to get the truth. I know what you're thinking. That sounds terrible. But Dalio argues that in most workplaces, we spend more energy managing politics than solving problems. Radical transparency eliminates the politics. It forces you to confront reality. The second major section of the book is about what Dalio calls embracing reality and dealing with it. Here is the truth bomb. Life is a machine. It operates according to the laws. You can either understand those laws and work with them, or you can fight them and lose. Dalio is a hyper-realist. He doesn't believe in dreaming your way to success. He believes in diagnosing problems like a machine diagnoses an engine. What's broken? Why it is broken? What are the root causes? He introduced a 5-step progress that he claims will lead to success in anything. First, know your goals and pursue them. That asks us to be clear about what you really want. And second, encounter the problems that stand in your way. That tell us do not tolerate problems. And third one is diagnose these problems to get at their root causes. That means do not jump to solutions too quick. And fourth, design a plan to eliminate problems that ask us to be specific when we have a problem. And fifth is execute those designs that push us through to completion. Sounds simple, right? But here is the catch. Sounds simple, right? But here is the catch. Most people get stuck at step 2. They encounter problems and they either deny them or get emotional about them. Dalio says you have to treat problems like puzzles. They are clues to what you need to learn. He also emphasized the importance of believability-weighted decision-making. Not all opinions are equal. When you are making a decision, you should weight input based on the person's track record in that specific area. This isn't elitism, it is rationality. The second half of the book focuses on work principles. This is where Dalio gets really specific about building what he calls an idea meritocracy, where the best ideas win regardless of who they come from. At the heart of this is the dot collector system. In meetings, everyone rates everyone else in real time on various attributes. These ratings create a believability score. When there is a disagreement, you don't vote democratically, you weight opinions by believability. Again, I can hear objections. Isn't this code inhuman? Dalio would say the opposite. He believes the system is deeply fair because it's based on evidence, not politics or personality. He also talks about baseball card management. Every employee has a digital card showing their strengths, weakness, and thinking styles. This helps match people to roles where they will succeed. Okay, the key insight here is people are wired differently. Some are big picture thinkers, some are detail focused, some are creative, others are reliable executors, and great organizations don't try to make everyone the same. They understand the differences and build teams that complement each other. Dalio writes, make your passion and your work one and the same. But he adds a crucial caveat. Do this by following your nature, not fighting it. If you're not a risk taker, don't try to be a trader. Find where your natural inclinations meet market needs. Alright, let me close with how these principles apply to life beyond work. Dalio believes in what he calls higher level thinking, the ability to look at your life from a distance, as if you were an architect designing a machine. That machine is you. Ask yourself, what do you want? What is true? What should you do to get what you want to based on what is true? He also talks about the importance of meditation. Dalio has practiced transcendental meditation for over 50 years. He says it is the single most important factor in his success. Why? Because it creates a space between stimulus and response. In that space, you can choose rationality over reactivity. Finally, Dalio emphasized meaningful work and meaningful relationships as ultimate goals. Money is just a resource. The real reward is the journey of growth and the people you share it with. So, should you read this book? Absolutely, but with a warning. It is a not easy reading. Dalio is systematic to a fault. Some readers find it repetitive or over-analytical. Here is my take. The value isn't in agree with everything Dalio says. It's in being challenged to develop your own principles. As he writes, time is like a river that carries us forward to encounters with reality that require us to make decisions. We can't stop our movement down this river. And we can't avoid encounters. We can only approach them in the best possible way. The question isn't whether you will face challenges. You will. The question is, do you have principles to guide you when they arrive? I recommend reading this book with a pen in your hand. Don't just consume it, argue with it, build your own system. Because at the end of the day, the person with the best principles win. Not because they are smarter, because they see reality more clearly and act on it more consistently. That is Principles by Ray Dalio. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next review.